Ben and Graham show you their big movie listicles. This week, the top 10 family movie shockers.
So welcome back to another edition of the show. How you doing, Graham?
I'm good, thank you, Ben. How are you?
Well, that's very over-enthusiastic. I'm not that good.
I'm
not that good.
Over-enthusiastic kind of guy.
You certainly are. Well,
I'm really excited about
last week we were
today's topic.
talking about our top 10 worst movie travesties. That was contentious. This week will be equally as contentious because we're talking... What are we talking about, Gray?
We're talking about family movie shockers.
What do you even mean by that? What's a family movie shocker? Because that just sounds like a contradiction in terms.
When you take your kids to go and see a movie, or you go, oh, wow, you've got to watch this film that I really loved as a kid, and you put it on, and they burst into tears.
Right.
And you're like,
okay.
Oh my God, I completely forgot how messed up this movie is.
Obviously, the rules have changed a bit over over recent times, and I think it's safe to say that if a movie gets a U certificate these days, it really is universal, suitable for granny, suitable for your toddler.
Yeah.
A PG. Now, what can you get away with in a PG? Maybe one mild profanity, a little
Not
bit of edgy
much,
stuff.
yeah.
Well, actually, these movies are U's and PGs, I think, all of them. But
yeah, Star Wars was a U.
Was it really?
And it had someone's severed arm in it. It had a
Oh my
woman being
goodness.
tortured.
Is that on your
with a
list?
hypodermic-
Is that on
no,
your
it's
list?
Not. It's not.
And that's not even on the
No,
list.
because it's okay as a PG.
Oh, of course it's okay,
It
yes.
just shouldn't be a U. It's just like, how did this get a U certificate?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Star
got
Wars was a U.
It was a U.
Suitable for all.
No swearing.
Yeah, okay.
No swearing, no sex. It was just violence. And the weird thing about the BBFC and their equivalent in America is they're not that arsed about violence. Like, kids can see the most horrific violence.
Do you know what?
That's
You're right
fine.
about that. It's
but
sex.
no one's allowed to say
Well, you can't say certain words.
the S word.
Well, certainly not the F word or the C word, but it's sex. There's a very funny about anything sexual at all.
Yes.
That gets an instant 18.
Yes.
But you're right. Some of the stuff that gets through is like shocking.
Well, you know,
Shocking.
Philomena in the film with Judi Dench.
The
and
Steve Coogan written, yeah.
Yeah, which is really, really good. And she drops the C-bomb at one point, or someone does.
Really?
And in America, they wanted to give it like an NC-17.
Oh,
they had
my
to
goodness.
argue
And that's a
against
certificate
it.
of death, isn't it?
Yeah. You're not getting anywhere with an NC-17.
Yeah.
But yeah, so go on, Ben. You start this off.
I'm starting this one off. Okay, so
I'm a bit confused.
For those who are new, I'm confused as well. And actually, I found this quite challenging because obviously having to rewatch some of these films from an adult perspective, it's not as shocking. You kind of need to show some of these classics.
Ben was never a child.
I was never a child. No, but the thing
he
is,
was just hatched, fully formed.
I remember all of these movies fondly. Some of them I did see for the first time as a kid. Some of them I didn't. And I'm trying to imagine what it would be like. And I've listened to and read about other people's reactions. You know, I haven't gone on Mumsnet or anything like that. But some of these movies got an awful lot of heated debate and talk around them. Anyway, we'll start off with number 10. For those who are new to the show, we're going through our top 10 and we'll stop at number 3 because my top choice for biggest movie family movie shocker and Graham's top choice for biggest family movie shocker is open to public vote.
Yes.
You simply head on over to our Twitter feed, which will be linked underneath this podcast on YouTube and on Mixcloud. You decide. And you don't worry about what happened last week. Last week's last week. Yes, we're keeping score, obviously. But you simply vote for the one you think is no. That's way worse. How did that get passed? So number 10, I've gone with Toy Story 1995.
I don't get this at all.
But you will do. It's only number 10.
Oh, is it Sid?
It's Sid's demonic mutant toys.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh,
now, look,
right,
I saw this movie. Now, in 1995, I was 21, so I didn't see it as a kid. But I know as a child, every child is scared of what's under the bed. Every child has to check under the bed, in the wardrobe. Mummy, can you leave the light on? Now, the idea of toys coming to life is great if they're cute and cuddly toys. You know, if it's your favourite teddy or your favourite doll. If somebody, like the psycho kid next door, literally Frankenstein pastes bits of toys together,
A mechanical spider with a doll's
yeah,
head.
that's the one. I don't know what it. I don't think it even has a name, and of course,
it
anything
comes
without
to
a name,
life, of
it
course.
comes to life.
Comes to life
It
when no one's
walks.
looking.
Now, have you ever seen The Thing, 1982? John Carpenter. One of the characters in The Thing gets infected by the virus thing, turns into like a spidery head thing, and it scuttles across the floor.
Just like
Just like
Suella
Sid's-
Braverman.
Oh, no, hang hang on a minute. We should say nothing on this list is anywhere near as frightening as our current Home Secretary. We will put that caveat in. To be fair, nothing is anywhere near that scary. No, Sid's mutant toys, specifically the weird doll's head with the 8-legged mechanical thing, and the noise it makes scuttling across the floor. I'm sorry, that's inappropriate. No, shocking. I love that word. Inappropriate is the most inappropriate word to describe things that are inappropriate, isn't it? Anyway, number 9, Gray.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 1971.
Well, the title alone.
Well, yeah, had to get away with that.
Goodness me.
Don't forget in the Goonies, they got away with One-Eyed Willy.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
But Wonky Willy's much worse.
Willy Wonka.
Why
have you got a Wonky Willy, Willy Wonka?
Exactly.
Anyway, no, specifically for the scene where he's singing the beautiful song, Pure Imagination, which is a fantastic song.
What's wrong with that?
The visuals that go with it, they're going through the tunnel, right?
Right, yeah.
And the visuals on the like, it's sort of keyed in to the background.
Yeah.
It's like dead animals being eaten by maggots.
It's not.
It is. It's go back and watch it. Go watch the tunnel scene. It's probably on YouTube. Just type in tunnel scene.
Well, if you
Willy Wonka, right? Honestly,
I'm sorry, no.
Honestly, there is dead animals decomposing and being eaten by maggots. Just throw it in there for no reason.
Well, there must be a
reason.
Song. That is disgraceful.
Because it was a nightmare. It was like...
Okay.
Because he wanted to try and do that whole thing of like this dream,
disgusting.
Nightmarish story.
Are you sure? Dead decomposing animals?
Yes.
What's that got to do with anything?
Nothing.
So, what's the title of the song again?
Pure Imagination.
Pure Imagination. Okay. That's dark.
I think it's that one. Or it might
That's
just be...
dark.
Actually, I might be getting it mixed up. It might be the tunnel song. There might be a tunnel song.
I mean, to be honest, it's Gene Wilder, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, just his face all the way through that movie. The slightly he's a hair's breadth away from massacring all those kids and literally sticking them into the big fondue chocolate.
He does.
He doesn't. Oh, he does. Of course, he does.
Yeah.
And you haven't even mentioned the fact that they all die.
He tricks them. Well, they don't.
They don't all die, do they?
But,
well, they should do. I mean, if they've gone through what those... doesn't the big fat one go through some kind of tube of chocolate?
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's revolting.
One of them gets all
turned into a
stressed
blueberry.
out, and one goes out as a big blueberry, and Mike TV,
God.
I think he gets shrunk down really small.
Okay, it's scary. I'll give you that. It's scary. And it scared me as a kid, so I will give you that one. Right, number 8 then. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I mean, it's not a lot to say here, really. The Child Catcher. He's scary. I mean, come on. The child catcher in that film, it's a lovely magical film about a flying car, and there's them Toot Sweet, the Lollipop song, great characters. But then there's the child catcher, who is genuinely terrifying. You know, the spindly fingers, the hat, the crooked kind of angular. I mean, everything about the guy is angular and just cruel and nasty.
It reminds me of Noel Fielding for some reason.
Do you know what? A remake, Noel Fielding would be the perfect choice.
Noel, if you're listening,
he would.
The role you were born to play.
Totally, I'll give you that. But the thing is, that would make it slightly more humorous, and he'd make it more personable.
Who wrote it?
I don't actually know who played the child catcher.
Who wrote?
It's a pub quiz question, isn't it?
Trivia.
Go on then, show off.
All right. Well, first of all, who wrote the script for Thunderball, the James Bond movie?
Go on, Orson Welles. I don't know.
It was Roald Dahl.
Oh, it was Roald Dahl.
Roald Dahl wrote the script for that, but the person who wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was Ian Fleming. It's like they swapped roles. One did a Bond film, and the other one did a kids' horror nightmare.
No, I know it's low-hanging fruit to pick Chitty Chitty Bang Bang's child catcher, but he's got to be in a top 10 list of the most shocking things in family movies, because that's a lovely movie. It is a great film, but that guy scares me. Graham.
Okay. This can't be...
Where are we at? Number 7.
At number 7, I'm going to have Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, 1984.
Yeah, I know why.
Harrison Ford at his peak as Indiana Jones, but what a terrible movie. Well, incredibly racist movie, a movie that had people from India eating all kinds of horrible things when most people live in India who are Hindus are actually vegetarians. So that was quite offensive. Offensive, actually, they couldn't actually film it in India. They filmed it in Sri Lanka. But the terrifying scene in that is when the thuggy cult and Molaram sacrifice this Indian guy into this pit of lava, but before doing so, they rip his heart out.
What?
And you actually see... No, but this is the funny thing. It was cut out of the British version. But if you watch it now on like Amazon or whatever, you can see the full uncut version. And you see the hole in his chest, and the hole heals up. And he holds the heart aloft, and it bursts into flames. And I watched this movie 2 weeks ago with my little stepdaughter. She's only 8, and at the end of it,
well done.
She went to me. So that's supposed to be a family movie.
Is that a PG certificate film?
No, well, yes, it was, because it had that scene cut in the British version.
See. Hang on a minute, I'm getting confused. Is that the one with the melty face?
No, that's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's pretty scary too.
Yeah.
So
it's quite cool the way they did that, though. You know, they made like wax models of the faces.
It's cool, but again,
them with blowtorches and sped
a
up the
face, melting because that's.
I know.
Okay.
But what about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where he chooses poorly and he ages really fast and all his hair comes out? There's lots of little nightmarish bits.
There are, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about otherwise family films that have got a lot of great family content.
That's not all that's in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh, go on.
There's the voodoo doll scene.
Okay.
There's the flogging of a child when poor Ki Hoi Kwan played Short Round, who's just won the Oscar for Best Actor. That's come around, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Actually gets flogged, and so does Indiana Jones. So there's
that's all right. He's a grown man. He can take it.
Yeah, but I mean, flogging in a movie. I mean, it's
actual flogging.
Yeah,
the heart thing. You actually see the heart being ripped out of the chest, held aloft,
and you see the hole. You see the hole in his chest, and it heals up.
That's some proper David Cronenberg stuff, isn't it?
That
really is.
I know. And
body horror.
You've got the bit where they're fighting, and they've got the big roller, and the guy gets his the back of his.
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Stuck on, and he gets pulled into it, and then you see the blood over the top. I mean, it is pretty bloody for a family movie. All right,
Steven Spielberg, what were you thinking? And the guy should know better. This is the man that directed the greatest family movie of all time, E.T. We'll move on. Right, now, where are we?
I hate E.T.
I know you do. Well, number 6 actually is E.T. Now, I love E.T.
You do, don't
I
you?
love E.T. It's a great film.
It's one of Spielberg's worst movies.
It's utter nonsense.
What do you love about it?
What do I love about it? It's a wonderful family film full of magical hope, promise. It's Steven Spielberg's. Actually, they say that The Fabelmans is his most personal movie. It's not. It's E.T. That's the movie about his life, about growing up, wanting to meet an alien, and it's about the little kid being proved right.
Who's very simple but has amazing abilities.
Have you seen
a bit like Forrest Gump?
Henry Thomas's audition tape for that movie? It's heartbreaking. He does a crying scene. Steven Spielberg asked him to imagine what it would be like if the grown-ups were taking his little pet alien away from him, and it's wonderful. And at the end, Steven Spielberg just says, "You got the gig, kid." It's lovely.
Why is this?
Anyway,
is it a shocker then?
Okay, that's not the shocking thing about it.
Family movie.
Some of the shocking.
It's a shocker.
Okay, it's really simple. There's a line in that movie where Elliot calls his older brother penis breath. Now, I'm sorry, I think E.T. was a U. I'm pretty certain it was a U, if not a PG. But I don't think you will find a U certificate or PG movie in the last 25, 30 years where anybody refers to another character as penis breath. Imagine the conversations that opens up at home. Mummy, Daddy, what? What does that mean? Why? How do you answer that one, Graham?
Well, also, it's got the Uranus joke. Where'd they come from?
Uranus. Oh, come on, that's just funny. That's okay. All kids have a laugh about Uranus.
Yeah, but I mean...
Penis breath? Seriously? Penis... That's something... That's on another level.
I think everyone forgets about that. It's like in Big... you know his mate in Big, he says the F word once.
Okay.
And everyone forgets. And you're watching it with the kids going, oh, this is a great movie, this. I love Big.
I know you're allowed one F word in a 12 certificate film. You're allowed one if it's not referred to in a sexual context. You're allowed one, like, as an expletive. But anyway, penis breath, not on.
It was probably cut from the original.
Graham, number 5.
Number 5 is one of the most... I'm sticking with George Lucas for this whole run now, pretty much now. It's Howard the Duck.
Right,
Howard
why?
the Duck, the film that launched Pixar and Adobe. And
did it?
Well, yeah,
okay,
because they lost so much money on it that George Lucas had to sell stuff off ILM, and one of them was Pixar, was the Pixar computer that they had to do this computer graphics.
But what's wrong with it? It's good. I love that film. What's wrong with it?
What? Howard the Duck?
Yeah.
It's messed up. It's got a woman who's a dancer or something. She might be an escort, who knows? And she goes to bed with Howard the Duck. She literally goes to bed and tells him how sexy he is and starts stroking his bill.
But stroking his bill?
Yes.
But he's a cartoon duck.
Well, I assume that he's a smaller stature actor in a suit.
Oh, hang on. You can't put a film on the list because of what might have been happening during filming. It's a cartoon duck.
No, it's not a cartoon, is it? It's live action.
Yeah, but the duck's a cartoon, isn't he?
No, No, you're thinking like Who Framed Roger Rabbit or something. No, this is...
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
thinking of Who Framed Roger
Tim
Rabbit.
Robbins,
oh, my God.
aliens from another dimension who look like big tentacle monsters.
Right, I'm so wrong.
Or
it's
big
all coming back
lobsters.
to me now.
Yeah.
It's flooding into my mind, and you're right.
It's
You're
really
right.
inappropriate because it was an adult comic. It was a Marvel comic.
Yes, you're
Howard
right.
the Duck, and it was for grown-ups, and it was this wisecracking.
Hang on,
duck
are you
from
sure
another
that was
dimension.
marketed as a family film?
Yes, I saw it at the cinema.
Well, that doesn't mean it was a family film.
I saw it at the...
You probably snuck in.
I did not sneak in. You
All right,
you
okay.
couldn't sneak into a 15, which was the high, was the lowest age.
So just describe that scene again.
There was a scene where the woman, the main lead character,
Yeah.
the woman in it, apart from Howard himself, goes to bed with Howard. They share a bed, and she's stroking his head and telling him how sexy he is for a duck.
Right, okay. That's just weird.
It's messed
It's
up.
really
It
messed up and weird.
It messed me up.
Okay, that's one not. Okay, come on, Graham. It's all right. It's okay. It's
No,
okay.
fine,
we'll
it's
get
fine.
you. We'll get you some
I'll
counselling
survive.
for that.
I need counselling.
That's one notch.
PTSD.
That's one notch
PTSD
above
from
penis
that.
breath, and I'll give you that one. But you're not going to beat my. Where are we? Number 4 choice. Coraline, or is it Coraline? I can never decide. Now, this has to be, without a doubt, and this is a 2009 movie, so by then, everyone involved should have known bloody better. It is dark. Now,
Yes.
this is a dark film.
About
I mean, not literally
death.
dark, but it's about death. But there are a number, I mean, too many to go into. There's a number of scenes in this film, but having buttons sewn into your eye sockets, that's freaky. Anything connected with eyes... I mean, anything with eyes in films is out. I mean, going right back to Unshen Andalou when the cow's eyes
Salvador
sliced.
Dali?
Salvador Dali. I mean, eyes, you don't mess with eyes. You don't mess with
Sight and
eyes
sound over here.
in a kid's... Yeah, I've seen that. It's weird, but it's not marketed as a kid's film. Coraline is a CGI, Pixar-styley... I don't know which studio made it.
No, it was stop motion.
It was stop motion, yeah,
It was the same
okay.
studio that made Nightmare Before
That's
Christmas.
right. Okay, and that was dark, but that was dark in a fun way. This is dark in a sinister way. I mean, you can imagine the kids watching that thinking, right, little brother,
Hey,
I'm going to sew some buttons into your eye sockets and see how you like it.
Nightmare's pretty dark,
It's-
you know. Because
No, it is, it
Sally,
is.
and she falls apart like he rips
I
her
know,
arm
but
off and he
that's
rips her arm off.
skeletons and Christmas, and it's Christmassy.
Yeah,
this is
creepy.
this is eyes.
There's a kid who gets a severed head.
All
for
right,
Christmas.
okay.
It's my
That's fine. I've got no
favourite bit of
problem.
that
I've got
movie.
no problem with that, but I do have a problem with people sewing buttons into eye sockets in Coraline. Freaky movie. It's my number 4.
Okay, my number 3. Back to George Lucas produced.
You don't like him, do you?
He made
Have
the
you got a
pre-
thing
he made
for
the Star
Lucas?
Wars prequels.
Oh, I did.
So
That was a faux pas, wasn't it? That was a big error.
I think he's got a really amazing creative mind, but he needs a team around him who are prepared to rein him in from some of
He
his
needs
madder
guidance.
ideas.
He
Yeah,
needs-
otherwise
he needs handlers.
I think he suffers
Yeah.
from George Lucas syndrome, which is something I just made up.
He-
where
he's-
you're
he's-
surrounded by people going, "You're a genius. Everything you
Yes.
say is a great idea." And
Yeah,
he goes, "How about
yeah.
a jive talking amphibian that steps in poo?"
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "What?
Yeah.
What?"
Okay.
And he goes, "Oh, poo poo on my feet." Oh my god.
Anyway, what's wrong with Return to Oz?
The sequel, the unneeded sequel to The Wizard of Oz. Obviously,
Is that the one with TikTok in it?
L.
The
Frank
big
Baum.
clock thing?
Yes,
Yes,
TikTok, you have to be
TikTok,
wound
yes,
up.
that's all right.
And the wheelies that are terrifying.
Yeah,
the
but are
wheelies
they?
are absolutely terrifying. But the worst thing is, I saw this at the cinema as well as a little child.
Okay.
And there was the princess or the what were they called? Witch, the good witch or whatever.
Yeah.
She has different heads, and she takes her
Oh,
head
Wurzel
off,
Gummidge, Wurzel
and she
Gummidge style.
puts another head on.
That's all right.
Depending on what mood she's in.
That's exactly what
do you
Wurzel
mean
Gummidge.
that's all right?
I'll tell you it's all right because that's what
That is-
Wurzel Gummidge did
that
at
is-
5 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon every week
And that
throughout
used to
my
freak me out
childhood.
when Wurzel Gummidge did it as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Seriously?
When his head turned all the way around like The
Absolute
Exorcist.
No, it didn't. You're
Yes,
a
it
pansy.
did. It turned all the way around, 360 degrees, like in
Well,
The Exorcist.
What? Sorry, Wurzel Gummidge?
In
or
Wurzel Gummidge. In this,
All
she
right.
takes her head off.
I'm sorry.
And puts it in a box, and then she picks another head up and
Well,
puts it
Graham,
on a headless body.
My parents didn't let me watch The Exorcist when I was watching Wurzel Gummidge. I was just innocently enjoying.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
what's wrong with this?
Return to Oz. It starts off, it's Veruca Balk, right? She goes to, she's
Who?
put in Veruca.
Veruca Balk.
Veruca Balk.
You're right. What's
Yeah.
she done since?
The Craft. She
Oh,
was in
okay,
The
all right,
Craft.
then she's
and,
done that.
in 1995, I think.
Okay.
But no, she is taken to because she's having these dreams about Oz, and so they send her off to a mental asylum.
Yep.
Where I think she has electroshock treatment or something. I don't know, but then
You're
she escapes
right.
with her
Yeah.
with her chicken, and there's a storm. Come on, it was about 30 years ago I saw this
She
damn movie.
escapes with a chicken.
She escapes with a talking
Does the chicken get electroshock
no,
treatment as well?
I don't think so. The chicken
okay.
can talk, I think, and then she gets into Oz. Oz and all of her, her friends, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion, they're all frozen. They've been turned into statues.
I remember that, yeah.
And then you've got the Wheelies, who are terrifying.
No, they're right.
I'm sorry, but as a family movie, Return to Oz is dark as hell.
Okay, it's not as dark as Coraline. It's not. I mean, come on, seriously. Buttons for eyes, stitching them into eye sockets.
Return to Oz.
All right,
is way
well,
worse.
that's your number 3. We're now on to our number 1, and unlike last week, I'm going first, and Graham will get the last word, which is always. I always think that's unfair because whoever's. No, seriously, it is though. No, it's not when Graham. It's in a court case, isn't it? The defence that go last.
I don't know.
I think it's the defence that go last. So the person with the weakest case gets to go last. It's a bit of a leg up for them. Anyway, my choice of the biggest family movie shocker of all time is 1986's Labyrinth. What? Now, I know what you're going to say.
What?
What's wrong with Labyrinth?
What's wrong with Labyrinth?
Yeah, you said it. What's wrong with Labyrinth? Well, there's a lot wrong with Labyrinth. There's a lot right with Labyrinth. Great music, and I've got to say, in its defence, and I will defend it, I think the soundtrack to Labyrinth is the great undiscovered, brilliant Bowie album that no one knew is a Bowie album. There's some blooming brilliant songs in that. Really good. It's a great movie. You've got a maze. You've got this Dance Magic Dance, some great songs. You've got some wonderful characters. The woman in the rubbish heap that's actually, she carries around half the rubbish heap on her back like it's some kind of rucksack. Always reminded me. I know. Okay, it's got Jennifer Connelly in it.
As a little boy, I had to say I had a huge crush on
I think
Jennifer
she's
Connelly.
meant to be playing a kid in that, but she looks older than who was the lead actress in Wizard of Oz? Way back in the day, 1939.
Julie Garland.
She looks even older than her. All that's good. That's fine. And yes, I think Bowie as the villain. She's supposed to be a child. She's supposed to be. She's supposed to be like a teenager.
Isn't there a subtext because there's pictures of David Bowie around the house and there's a thing about maybe
we're getting sidetracked here. I want to tell you why it's an inappropriate. Well, it's a great movie, but there's stuff in it that's seriously troubling. Number 1, the whole movie is about child abduction, and the child that gets abducted is a little innocent baby who, all the way through the movie, wears the cutest little onesie. Yeah. I mean, he's a really sweet little baby. He's abducted by a team of goblins who then proceed to spend the rest of the movie literally chucking him around. Now,
it's only
hang on. It was only once.
It was only once.
Only once. Okay. We're getting a Stanley Johnson territory here. He only broke his wife's nose once.
I mean, they dropped the baby.
They dropped the baby.
They didn't drop the baby.
Right. You know, look at the court cases since for the damage that has been done to babies by just shaking them. This baby, baby gets chucked around 30 feet in the air. Oh, yeah, but you could say it's obviously just CGI. It's obviously not real about all the movies on this list. It portrays unbelievable feats of death-defying stupidity with a baby.
Can you cut to the chase? What's your biggest problem?
Oh, so you accept there's even bigger problems than that? So you're agreeing with me?
I know what you're going to say.
The biggest problem with that movie is David Bowie's Meat and Two Veg on display for about 90% of that film.
When does he eat in that movie?
I'm not talking about what he's eating. I'm talking about his man parts, okay? Which are
his muscles? They're not his guns.
I'm talking about his private man parts. You know exactly what I'm referring to.
Okay.
That are on display beneath the thinnest fabric known to man.
Can I say I saw Labyrinth as a child and I never noticed because I just didn't look there.
Notice. Everyone I watched it with noticed. We all stopped the film and said that's inappropriate. I was only about 10 at the time.
Have you ever been to the ballet?
No, but yes, I have been to the ballet. Okay. All ballets are inappropriate.
All ballets are inappropriate.
No one should be admitted to a ballet unless they're over 18. Look, seriously, it's just bizarre. He could have worn some kind of you know what cricketers wear? What do cricketers wear? A box?
Olympic swimming. Olympic swimming.
No,
do we not have that?
No, we're not talking about Olympic swimming. It's not Olympic swinging.
Something that people watch.
Olympic
on
swinging. I said Olympic swinging. Olympic swimming is not marketed as a U certificate or PG certificate.
Yeah, but anyone can watch it. It's on in the afternoon of the Olympics.
Oh, come on! The news is on in the afternoon, and you see people being blown to bits in wars. So shut up.
In French swimming pools, you're not allowed to wear shorts.
You see what he's doing here?
You have to wear speedos. He would hate it. Well, I hate it, but like you wouldn't survive 5 seconds in a French swimming pool.
Let's just put our cards on the table here. Graham is
Snowflake.
telling you that repeated scenes of baby abuse and
Abuse?
David Bowie's
come on.
manhood on display in a family film is appropriate.
It's not on display.
You've
It's
got different standards
tucked
to
away
me.
in a
Delightfully
tastefully
Graham,
tucked away.
Graham, keep digging, my friend. His manhood is delightfully tucked away. Yes. There we go. I think I would never have come up with that description myself, but well done. You just helped my case. Okay. I'll allow you the last word.
Okay.
What's your number one, Graham?
It is the Studio Ghibli production, Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, laugh right, isn't it? Laugh right.
And if you've never seen this, I mean, I would recommend it, but not if you're feeling down, not if you are, not if it's raining outside, not if anyone you know has had a bad day.
Yeah.
It is one of the saddest movies of all time, probably the saddest movies of all time. It takes place in, I think, the city of Kobe. And it's that there was a firebombing there in the March of 1945. It's semi-autobiographical of the directors. He actually got his own daughter to do the voice parts for the little girl in the movie, who's about 4 years old, and she is adorable. It's not an adult pretending to be a child like Bart Simpson. It's actually a child doing the lines, right? And the story is there's a little boy and a little girl, and they lose their mum and dad in the war, in this bombing raid. Yeah. And then they go and stay with a horrible aunt who is not really nice to them.
Yeah, yeah.
So they run away, and they're going to live together in a cave up in the hills, and they die.
Yeah.
Both of them, of starvation. Oh my God! Like, first of all, his little sister dies. And then he cremates her and gets her ashes. And then he goes to I'm sorry, I'm spoilers for anyone who's not seen it. He goes to a railway station. He dies in the railway station. And people are just walking past his dead body.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm like, this is a family movie. And let me just finish on this.
Go on.
When it came out in Japan, it was distributed as a double bill. Remember, double feature?
Yes.
Yeah? A double bill with My Neighbor Totoro.
Okay, that has just basically hammered into the ground what I was about to say, which was that the film was marketed for adults. It was an adult film about children.
It wasn't marketed to adults.
Are you honestly telling me it was a double bill?
It was a double feature with My Neighbor Totoro, one of the cutest Studio Ghibli films of all time.
Yeah, now... Okay, I'll have to take your word for that. But
I wouldn't let my stepdaughters watch it.
It is. It is okay. We're not disputing the fact that it's a masterpiece of animation.
Honestly, it's a fantastic
wonderful film, very powerful film about war. But I mean, family movie, popcorn Friday night.
It is.
Kids, granny.
It's like sitting down and watching The Pianist or watching Schindler's List. Do you know what I mean? It's like.
Stick on a Leonard Cohen album, a bit of Roger Waters, a movie to kill yourself to.
Radiohead.
Oh God, it's apocalyptic.
Imagine Radiohead was a Studio Ghibli animation.
Oh God, yeah, you'd get Grave of the Fireflies.
That's what it is, and I know that a lot of you probably haven't seen this movie.
I don't know. I think it's more popular than you imagine.
Recommend it.
Yeah,
but when it comes to inappropriateness of a family movie, I think it blows Labyrinth out of the water.
Okay, well, I'm not going to argue that it's well deserving of a place on the list, but I'm sorry. David Bowie's Meat and Two Veg, babies being chucked 30 feet in the air. I'm not obsessed. I don't want it. I don't want that engraved on my retina. Now, this is your chance to get involved because although we have listed our choices from 10 to 3, those last two, Labyrinth, 1986, and Grave of the Fireflies, 1989, are up for public vote. This is where you come in. So follow the link under this podcast on YouTube and on Mixcloud, and you'll find a link to our Twitter feed. There you have 6 days to make your choice for which one of us is right and which one of us is wrong. And even more than that, once you've voted, leave your comments in the replies as to which films we've missed off, which horrendous omissions did we leave out, because I'm sure there are more. There are
family
many more.
Movies have scarred you for life?
Yeah, we want to know. We're not going to pay for the therapy. That's not part of the deal. You can pay us, though. If you like what we're doing and you want to chuck us a beer or a coffee, You can chuck us a couple of quid on our Ko-fi site. And a very quick reminder, if you would like your own dedicated show for the top 10 movie-themed list of your choice, the listicle of your choice, simply chuck us 50 quid on Ko-fi and send us a note there on Ko-fi for what you'd like that top 10 to be, and we'll do it within 28 days. And we'll put that to the public vote too. Graham, it's been another fantastic show.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you same time, same place next week.
Adios, amigos.
Bye.